Hello, today I'm gonna show you how to solve expert level Sudoku puzzle with a very simple brainless method. Before we go into the method, let's introduce some terminology of Sudoku. So the whole Sudoku board is called a grid, and the grid is divided into 9 smaller blocks by the green lines as you can see here. And each block is divided into 9 cells, like this. A common technique to solve Sudoku puzzle is to use pencil marks. Let's say you want to find all the ones in the second block, so you know that one can only be here and here, but you're not sure which one. So you leave a small mark to remind yourself that one can only be there. Pencil marking is just a way to remind yourself of the possible numbers in a cell. So first what we're going to do is we're going to pencil mark everything. So when you're pencil marking, notice the blocks which has all the pencil mark in the same row or column. So for example, the second block here, it has only pencil mark in the second row. That means one can only be in one of those 2 cells for the whole column. It cannot be here and it cannot be here. So we can go ahead and remove that. The same goes for the 9th block. That block only has pencil mark in the first row. That means we can remove these. We'll continue doing this for number 2. So while you're pencil marking, if you find a block with only one pencil mark, just go ahead and fill it in. In this case, we have the 6th block with only one pencil mark, number 3. We go ahead and fill it in. Same with the 8th block and the 7th block. We move to number 4. And voila, we're done. After you fill in every pencil mark, you will look for cells with only one pencil mark, like the 9 here, and fill it in. After you fill in all of the cells with only one pencil mark, you will now look for cells with 2 pencil marks. And what you want to find is a pair of cells with the same 2 pencil marks in the same row, column, or block. Like the 5 and 8 here. These 2 cells have the same 2 pencil marks. That means in that entire column, 5 and 8 can only be in those 2 cells. So we can go ahead and remove 5 here. So since those 2 cells also in the same block, that means in that block, 5 and 8 can only be in those 2 cells. So we can go ahead and remove 5 here. And we'll continue finding other pairs. We have 5 and 9 here. That means in the same block, in the column, 5 and 9 can only be in those 2 cells. So I can remove 5 here and 5 here. And I can remove 9 here, and all of these. We have a cell with only one pencil mark, so let's go ahead and fill it in this cell too. The 4th block only has one cell with pencil mark up to number 2, so we'll go ahead and fill it in. Same with the 8th block and the 2nd block. And we'll continue finding pairs of cells with the same 2 pencil mark. We have 4, 7 here and 4, 7 here. So we can remove this 7. That leaves only one cell with 7 pencil mark in the 2nd block. So we'll go ahead and fill it in. And this cell only has 9 pencil mark. Let's fill it in. This one is the only cell in that block which has a pencil mark of the number 9. Let's fill it in. And we'll keep doing that. After you've found all pairs of cells with the same two pencil mark, now we're going to do something very dumb. We're just going to do trial and error. We look at the most unfilled number. In this case, 1 and 9 has 6 unfilled positions, the most among all of the numbers. We pick number 9, and then you could find a block with only 2 pencil marks of that number. For example, the second block here has only 2 pencil marks of number 9. Then you randomly choose one of those two cells and fill in a 9, just randomly. And then you continue what we did before. Now you see this cell has no pencil mark left. That means our random decision of this 9 in the second block is incorrect. So we just revert it. So 9 cannot be there. It can only be here. The great thing about this trial and error method is that it's much faster than all of the advanced Sudoku technique like the X-wing or XY wing, for example. And the reason it is fast is because of all the pencil mark that you did before. That's why we pencil mark everything at the start. Now we can continue doing what we did before. And if you're stuck again, let's do the random trial and error again. This time, the most unfilled number is number 1, 6 unfilled position. In this case, we pick the 8 cells and fill in a random 1. We continue what we did before. Now, as you can see really quickly, we found a cell with no pencil mark. And that means this number 1 we chose was incorrect. Let's revert it. Trial and error is really quick in unblocking you. Now for the 7th block, we know exactly where 1 should be. And we'll continue doing what we did before. And if you block again, let's just do that again. Now the most unfilled number is number 6. And we randomly fill in a 6 in the 4th block. And voila, we won.